And that's just if you have a little bit more of a complex setup going on. In this scenario, I highly recommend you just keep it to your one program monitor. Down here at the bottom left, we have our scenes. Now I have one created already. I can add another with the plus icon and remove one with the minus icon. I could also move them up and down just to sort them, and I could even rename them. Now one scene could be just my webcam, another could be just my screen, another one could be both, and so on and so forth. This is really where you just make each scene ready to go so that when you and that's what this sources section is right here. And choose from the wide variety. In this case, it would be the video capture device. Now I could name it, so I'll just call it webcam. And this is also where your external webcam and so on would appear. In this scenario, I'm going to be using my USB webcam, and there it is. So I can configure the video. There's so many settings. I highly recommend you dive deep into it to make sure you're getting exactly what you would like. So in this case, I'll hit OK, and there it is. It's in my scene. I could right click it and I'll get even more options, including transform, which in this scenario, if I wanted to, I could flip it and so on and so forth, but I'm just going to click fit to screen. And there we go. Now my screen is showing my webcam, and that's what this scene is for. So if I would like, I could rename this scene to webcam, and then I could go and click a new scene. This one I'll call desktop. So now, as you can see, my webcam went away because we're actively selected on the desktop scene. If I click webcam scene, I'm back here to my webcam. If I go back to desktop, it's gone. So here in this scenario, I'll go to add a new source, and I could either do display capture, which is the entire screen. If I have multiple screens, I could select which one, or I could go to window capture, which will only capture a specific window. If I open a window on top of that, it won't actually record that new window. It'll only record the original one that I selected. So it really comes down to what you want. But in this scenario, I'll do display capture. And this one I'll just call main screen. Just like that, we're going to have a little bit of inception, but my resolution of my monitor, my laptop screen is fairly large, so it won't fit. So similar to the webcam, we'll just go ahead and fit that to the screen. And there we go, a little bit of inception, but that is my desktop scene, and this is my webcam scene. And I have my properties up here. So if I want, I could capture the cursor. I could avoid that. If I have multiple monitors, I could select that here. But for now, we'll just click OK. So there we go. Those are my two scenes, my webcam scene, my desktop scene. Whichever one I want, I could just easily have it show up. I create a new scene. I could actually combine the two like I said earlier. But for now, we're going to keep on moving. Next up is the audio mixer. Now from here, I could very easily control each audio source separately. So if I have audio playing on my computer that I want to use, I can control that here. So if it's background music, I could simply lower it so that it's not super loud. Now my microphone is just the built-in one on this laptop, and so I could see the audio level here, make sure I'm not peaking too much. I could always adjust it accordingly. Now if you have a device like this webcam and it has a microphone and you enable that microphone, then you can control that separately here as well. So that goes for your desktop audio, so on and so forth. Now scene transitions is pretty self-explanatory. I could choose from cut to fade, and if I would like, I can do all sorts of crazy things, but we're going to keep this simple. And this is just the duration. So if I want it to fade, it'll be a 300 millisecond fade. And so if I go to desktop, there's the fade. Fade, nice. And if I switch that to cut, it's going to be very abrupt. Boom, boom, no fade at all. Now for the control section, this is where you could either start streaming, start recording,
and that's what the sources section is, right?
And you could also go back to that studio mode that we talked.
And choose from the wide variety. In this case, it would be the video capture device. I could name it, so I'll just call it webcam. And this is also where your external